The history of Presbyterian women is the history of an inclusive, caring community. Presbyterian Women is committed to building an inclusive, caring community that strengthens the Presbyterian Church and witnesses to the promise of God's kingdom. Presbyterian women have understood for more than 230 years that they are more powerful together than apart. We also know that we find encouragement, support, and strength when we are together. When the United Presbyterian Church in the USA and the Presbyterian Church in the US began talking about reunion, the two women's organizations began quickly moving toward union, outpacing the church by creating a joint Bible study. We heard this history earlier. The point is, Presbyterian women instinctively move toward widening the circle, whether through Bible study, relationship-building trips, or adding seats at the table. How does Presbyterian women widen the circle of inclusion, participation, and community? At the start, circles are the basic unit of the organization. Think about our PW logo. Beyond the practical significance, PW circles symbolize the mission and ministry of the organization and provide a structure for how our community of women live and work in relationship. We meet in circles in our congregations to pray and study the Bible together, to complete sewing projects, pack backpacks, and make hygiene kits, to raise funds for our grant programs and local ministries, and to support and encourage one another. Many of you can remember fondly that first time you were invited to join a circle. Carol Winkler says she was loved into PW. Circles represent partnership, equality, interdependence, and solidarity. Being involved with PW at the congregational level creates a welcoming community for those seeking a home in a PCUSA congregation, as well as for women seeking a network and connection in the church. This network expands at the presbytery and synod levels, bringing women together from across regions to focus on the mission and ministry that emanates from the PW purpose. Look around you at the women who have come together for this churchwide gathering. We are the incarnation of the inclusive community of women that strengthens not only the PCUSA, but God's whole creation, a profound witness to the promise of God's kingdom. PW widens the circle of inclusion on the national board by providing 6 seats for young women. Many younger women who serve on the board or participate in a global exchange, USA mission experience, PW work trip, or advocacy action end up in leadership in PW and the PCUSA. The board also provides spaces for new immigrant women and members at large who represent the diverse constituencies and networks of the Presbyterian Church USA. This emphasis on inclusion and leadership development has broadened the horizons of women in the church. Presbyterian women are deacons, teaching and ruling elders, church educators, members of national church and agency boards, commissioners to and moderators of the General Assembly. PW was the first PCUSA organization to declare itself anti-racist and embarked on a structural review of Presbyterian women from an anti-racism perspective in 2001. The goal of the review was to examine ways to achieve Presbyterian women's vision of an inclusive and caring community that is representative of the diversity of the church. In creating the task group, Presbyterian women sought to examine what impedes or prohibits the realization of this goal on the one hand, and what encourages and supports its realization on the other. PW was at the forefront of the PCUSA by holding racial ethnic dialogues beginning in 1998 and anti-racism trainings throughout the country. In 2013, PW published Practicing God's Radical Hospitality, Exploring Difference, Change, and Leadership through the Spiritual Discipline of Hospitality, which helps people explore differences together through Bible study. PW's mission programs focus on building relationships. The Global Exchange and USA mission trips are not about charity. They are about conversations, listening and learning, partnering in prayer and action to improve understanding and the life experience of everyone involved. Much of PW's mission and ministry is about presence, not recommendations or answers. Inclusive community goes far beyond inviting others to your table, but is about willingness to be invited, to pull up a chair to someone else's table, perhaps completely unfamiliar to you, and engage in the conversation there. We have many guests with us today from around the world who have participated in this partnership. Presbyterian women have made it their mission to expand their circles when the opportunity presents itself. The Fellowship of the Least Coin and World Day of Prayer are women's ecumenical movements that are in partnership with PW. These prayer movements empower and support women and girls around the globe through prayer and action. PW has stepped to the forefront of critical issues by advocating for justice and peace, working to overcome poverty and hunger, abuse, and victimization. In these myriad ways, Presbyterian Women continues to widen the circle by offering opportunities to walk in solidarity with others who need our love. We can combine our efforts to offer help that is deep, wide, and ultimately an answer to God's call for us to be present to the widows, orphans, and strangers in our community, and to be present to one another. Presbyterian Women offers us the gift of building an inclusive and caring community of women that strengthens the PCUSA and witnesses to the promise of God's kingdom. As we continue our mission and ministry as Presbyterian women, we will make room in the circle, the square, the rhomboid, and at the table for all sisters of faith. We are empowered by the Holy Spirit to live in inclusive community, God's community, which enriches our lives, our church, and our world.